Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand.
Okay, honest question. Why the hell is Eric Dubay held in such high regard? He's like the high priest of this flat earth cult, the guru who lit the fire under the asses of these paranoid anti-intellectualists, and I honestly don't understand why. I guess it's because he was the first, a pioneer in the early days of this wave of the flat earth cult, as it's had its peaks and valleys for the last 2,000 years, so it's easy to not notice how utterly stupid he is. The truth is, like every flat earther, Dubay has no ability to learn or adapt. He's still leaning back and resting on the laurels of his 200 proofs, which has been utterly destroyed since the day after it was released to the public. He still just prattles on and on about not seeing curvature and claiming everyone is being lied to, with no substance to it. I think the reason he's held up in this cult is because of his skills with manipulation. This is the big tell for me when it comes to Dubay. He has mastered the art of hiding half-truths within whole lies, as well as using primer words to push his audience in the direction he wants them to go. His little "Dinosaurs Never Existed" video, almost famously ripped apart by paleontologist Trevor Valle on the Joe Rogan Experience, is a perfect example. Let's take 2 seconds to see an illustration of, and the problem with, these two tactics I've just mentioned.
The existence of dinosaurs was first speculatively hypothesized by a knighted museum head coincidentally in the mid-19th century during the heyday of evolutionism before a single dinosaur fossil had ever been found.
Wrong.
Now, Trevor is about to inform Eric that the first marine dinosaurs were found about a century before that, but I'd like to focus on something else Eric just said, as though he were reading the words for the first time or something. Speculatively hypothesized. This is called priming. This is when you use one stimulus in order to provoke a specific response to another similar stimulus. Eric says these words because he wants his audience to believe his subsequent conclusion. The speculative hypothesis is false. He is using the human ability to recognize as well as create patterns in order to herd them into the pen that he wants. Clever girl.
According to the book The Dinosaur Project, paleontological journalist Wayne Grady claims the period following this, from around 1870 to 1880, became a period in North America where some of the most underhanded shenanigans in the history of science were conducted.
Here's the half-truth hidden within whole lies thing. The half-truth is that the Bone Wars were indeed shady and underhanded, but the whole lie, that they were inventing fossils in order to support the myth of dinosaurs, doesn't directly connect to it. Thankfully, Trevor is here to point out his lie.
That's because there were two paleontologists going at it against each other, going, I can find the cooler thing. No, I can find the cooler thing. I'm going to find more shit than you. It was called the Bone Wars, Ogden versus Marsh.
You already talked about this, right?
Yeah.
What was underhanded about it?
They would sabotage each other's digs. They would try and steal fossils. They were assholes.
Out of the 136 dinosaur species supposedly discovered by the two men, however,
fuck you for saying
only
supposedly.
32 are presently considered valid, as the rest have all proven to be falsifications and fabrications.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Not a falsification or a fabrication. Turns out a lot of those dinosaurs were the same species that were previously discovered. Oh, look, this sauropod femur looks a lot like that sauropod femur, but I found this slightly in a different place, so I'm going to name it a new species. Nope, turns out those are both Brontosaurus or Apatosaurus or Triceratops or Stegosaurus, anything like that. That is just an outright fucking lie that he just said.
Now, let's move on to today's topic. Recently, on the show's livestream, the gang and I were joined by Conspiracy Cats to discuss a video on Dubay's channel. I'm not going to say it's Dubay's video, because it's not, but I'll come back to that. The video is a lurid little music video in which a repulsive rap song plays over a number of desperately deplorable flat earth memes. We went to town on it. Cue the yodeling.
Also, it's really refreshing to have an Eric Dubay video where we don't have his monotonic vocal attack from the very beginning.
200 proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball. Put him on permanent mute. What the hell?
Curtain rods, you piece of shit.
I know. That curtain rod cost $2 million US, you assholes. What the fuck?
Wes Grissom was killed 2 weeks later. He made it look like an accusation that NASA killed this guy. That pissed me off.
Yeah,
that was a horrible, tragic accident that those three men died. And for him to take the piss on that, that just pisses me off.
Yeah, musically, it's fucking shit.
It's awful.
Yeah, we know it's rap. Have we? Conspiracy Cat, you're a musical chap. We've seen some of your brilliant music that you've kicked out. What do you think of this Eric Dubay rap? Well, the rap that he's got, I mean.
You know what? It is awful, but like I said, it is better than listening to him drone on and on. Like Jump the Drunk Monkey. Like if you've listened to his entire 200 proofs in that voice, are you now like the Manchurian Candidate? Have you? Is he completely fucked your brain?
We are literally explaining rocket science to people who don't get gravity. This is a dangerous road. Let's just hit continue. Carry on, right?
But I have some further issues with this bullshit. The video is rapid fire, and we were trying to keep to a time schedule on the stream, so I want to do it justice. I want to debunk every single meme presented in this tirade of terrible. So, hit it.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, we have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The sky is deep black,
and we cannot see stars.
There's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
You see the gas.
The sunlight washes out all the starlight, so you can't see any stars.
Pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
We were never able to see stars.
It's the darkest black you can imagine.
Never a straight answer.
Well, that was a whole lot of stupid before we got to any memes. First he shows some footage of rockets blowing up for some reason. What's the point there? That rocket science is hard and sometimes it doesn't go well? So what? Now, onto the stars thing. Context, man. You always get straight answers to straight questions. Can we see stars in space is not a straight question because it depends on where you are. As Jimbojo put it in the live stream, when there's a bright piece of rock in the way, you won't see stars. When there isn't, you will.
Many things have changed, but I never thought I'd live in an age to see the day outer space is seen as fake.
There we go, first meme, finally. Damn, this song is going to be hard to listen to. Now, as to his point, look, I can do it too. As usual, your portrayal of body language lacks context. The image of the Apollo astronauts comes from them during the conference held after they landed. Excuse me, after they landed and then spent 21 days in medical isolation due to the uncertain threat of unknown contagions. And you're shocked that they don't look happy as pigs in shit after sitting in a trailer for nearly a month.
All been played, fall and pray to a Freemasonic cage. Surely all is gonna break away the more we all away.
Why is he comparing apples to oranges and bananas? What in the hell do phones have to do with going to the moon? Yes, we have smartphones now and we didn't in 1969. What's your point?
Houston, we now have a problem. They found out space isn't at all what we told them.
Again, apples and oranges. The moon isn't orbiting the Earth every 90 minutes, and it's tidally locked. It's a lot easier to maintain that signal, especially when your budget to do so is exponentially bigger. Flurfs love to forget that NASA currently has a fraction of its former budget. Last point, the ISS livestream is just for entertainment, and considering the budget, it's low on NASA's priority. This makes sense because the livestream isn't constantly showing a monumental achievement in human history, though personally I would argue that it kinda is.
NASA ought sorted all the stories for the astronauts before they all reported what they saw in Aztec orbit.
Ooh, those wascally Freemasons. Just a quick question for all flat earthers, and I want them to answer honestly. Impossible, I know, but why do you hate Freemasons? Why are Freemasons evil? Just curious. I've done a little digging, and I'll come back to this in another video, but the reason for Masons being branded as evil seems to go back to a very old and very stupid feud with the Catholic Church. In which case, who cares?
Saw the planet Aldrin, so no more than black. You all are talking bullshit. Quarters where you ought to all be walking as your master.
Yeah, shitty, blurry, out of context picture. Not even sure who those three people are, it's too low quality to tell. If it's the Apollo 11 astronauts, I'm gonna use a flurf technique and cry fake. While Buzz is indeed a Mason, The other 2 astronauts were not. It's a shame reverse image searching this thing doesn't come up with anything, but I'm immediately skeptical. You know, for people who love to cry fake, they sure skip that step when it confirms their bias, doesn't it? Also, let's just go through the logic here. Oh, let me just pose and smile for this incriminating evidence that I committed a giant fraud against all of mankind. Yeah, that makes sense.
Boy, you're caught red-handed. I imagine your imaginary band's a Van Allen. Of course, they all know has.
Indeed, Grissom did say that. Although he was not killed, you little shit, he died in a horrific accident. And not 2 weeks later, it was actually a few minutes later. His entire point was that at this early stage of Apollo 1, NASA was failing completely when it came to communication between mission control and the crew. In fact, that's why the quote is so poignant, because the poor communication directly correlated with his unfortunate death. Short answer is, we got better at it. Sometimes when heroes die, that's what happens. You shape up and fly right, real quick.
Landing was staged, a Stanley Kubrick play. The USA had to make a movie to win the race to space. NASA, what's the truthful answer you want doing lunar trips? Why, it isn't lucrative, the tax you take is ludicrous.
Both of these can be debunked the same way. This is a classic case of pareidolia. Looks like, so it must be. You think these skinny, cheap pipes can hold together a whole train engine?
You start the excuse, you lose the tapes and can't locate the data. Saying nowadays it's far too hard to make it all after you.
I've been over this before. Telemetry tapes that contained SSTV footage, not flight data. Next. Come on, let's get this over with.
You threw away the blueprints for the lunar craft. Now half a century has passed, you had a blast. You're talking at your ass.
You don't question it. You've asked 0 questions. No wonder you never get a straight answer.
Elephants in the room, they never went to the moon. Prove everything told to you about space or big fan of true.
Because the moon has no atmosphere, so shut the fuck up.
Nothing is left the earth and returned. That's sipping from years of selling the heliocentric universe soon will be gone.
Looks like shit, must be shit. That's how that works. Your other senses and critical thinking skills are worthless, kids. No, it's a very, very, very fortified glider. Find me an image of the shuttle orbiter in atmosphere, firing its engines. Find me just one. I'll wait. No, that's the solid fuel boosters, the orbiter. Tick-tock, morons.
It's all a lie.
Fuck you.
There's never a straight answer. And you never will, it's all a lie.
There's nothing to debunk here. Literally nothing. It's just baseless assertions. By the way, women aren't allowed to be Freemasons, just FYI.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Oh look, sometimes launches go badly. That's evidence of sometimes launches going badly. Whole lot of nothing. Okay, I can't handle this anymore. This song is garbage. I'm gonna have to do this bullshit in 2 parts. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go deal with something. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, which is Dead Kennedy in Space. If you want to support me further, consider donating on Patreon or purchasing some of my work through Amazon or Teespring. Thank you, and I'll see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.
Live there, on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam, in a vast cosmic arena.